Hello and welcome to Unacademy. We are starting a series of lectures today where we will be taking up the last 6 months of current affairs based on Indian economy. This is a kind of revision module for you where we will be taking up all the important topics from your prelims perspective and from your mains perspective from the last 6 months, the previous 6 months, where we will be discussing each topic in detail to brush up your current affairs and also to give you an edge in Indian economy based current affairs. So let's start. Welcome again to Unacademy, and this is me, Joicy Joy, who will be taking up this series of classes. Let's start, but before that I'd like to give you some information about the upcoming mentors workshop which will be dealing with this topic, collaborative governance. Our guest of honor will be Dr. Kiran Bedi, IPS retired, Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, and the mentors workshop will be held on 9th of December at 5:30 p.m. Little bit about this collaborative governance workshop, the mentors workshop. This will be very much helpful for your essay writing in your mains examination, and in this particular session Dr. Kiran Bedi will be taking up a session and will be discussing issues related to collaborative governance with our top educator Mr. Mrinal Patel, who will be discussing about essay writing for mains on this topic of collaborative governance. And the session shall be in Hindi, and we will be providing you the lectures of the session on English as well. So it's on 9th of December at 5:30 p.m. Now regarding our mobile application, Unacademy Learning app, where we will be providing you structured batches from our top educators. The batches will be in Hindi, English and also bilingual. You can avail the batches as per your convenience. We'll be providing late night batches and also even extended batches for even 2 years, where we'll ensure that we'll cover 100% for your UPSC CSE syllabus, and we are also providing classes on a wide range of optional subjects. We also have options for preliminary as well as mains test series along with their discussion, followed by doubt clearing and evaluation sessions, daily answer writing, daily current affairs, essay writing, and also a performance analysis based on your previous performances. Now a little bit about our Plus subscription courses and Iconic subscription courses. The Plus subscription courses will provide you offline experience, teaching learning experience, where we will have live classes, live doubt clearing sessions and also live interactions with the top educators. You can avail the Plus subscription courses for either 12 months, 24 months, or if you are looking for a long-term preparation, you can avail the 36 months program. We also have Iconic UPSC CSE subscription, where you will be assisted with a personal coach throughout your preparation, who will be helping you throughout your preparation at every stage. And for availing your Plus subscription or Iconic subscription, you can use my coupon code, which is Joicy10, Joicy10, with which you can avail a 10% of instant discount on all the subscriptions that you make. Also, on the Plus platform, we are providing n number of special classes which will be provided for free. You can unlock the Plus subscription or Plus special classes using my coupon code Joicy10. You can use this coupon code to unlock the free special classes which will be provided me and other educators on our Plus platform. You can also attend the live sessions, live quiz sessions and the test series in our Plus platform. So let's start. As I said, this will be a revision module which will be based on the previous 6 months current affairs based on Indian economy. So according to the depth of the topic and the relevance of the topic, we will be taking up number of topics. Today we will be discussing 2 topics. First one is currency swap agreement. So let's see what is currency swap agreement and why it was in the news recently. So the current affair related to the CSA or the currency swap agreement is that the Reserve Bank of India, which is the central bank of Indian economy, the monetary authority of Indian economy, the central bank has decided to collaborate with the country Sri Lanka for a currency swap agreement. So the amount involved here was $400 million US dollars. RBI and the government of Sri Lanka, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, has agreed mutually to enter into a currency swap agreement. So we need to understand what is a currency swap agreement. Basically, it's an agreement either between the central governments or mostly between the central banks, because it is always and most of the times in the countries that the central bank is responsible for framing the monetary policy and also for managing the liquidity conditions in an economy. it is always a central bank which comes up with the monetary policies. So we can say currency swap agreement is also one such kind of monetary policy where the central bank will collaborate with another central bank of another country to agree in order to trade between the local currencies. So currency swap agreement, it's an agreement between two friendly countries, because two allies only can enter into a currency swap agreement to involve in trading in their own local currencies. So it's a trading of currencies. Like we do the trading of goods and services, this is a trading of the currencies between two friendly countries. Now, the payment is made at predetermined rates of exchange. That is, when the agreement is made, when two countries enter into an agreement, that time itself they will agree upon the rate of interest, or the currency swap rates will be decided. Now, another very important feature of a currency swap agreement is that while two countries enter into a currency swap agreement, like in the recent example of Sri Lanka and India, here one party is India, another party is Sri Lanka. So here what is to be understood is that they do not bring in a third country currency. For example, US dollars. US dollars is a third country currency. It is not the local currency of either India or Sri Lanka. So they do not bring in a third country currency into the currency swap agreement. It's exclusively between the two countries who are involved in this agreement. Now let's see how does this process of currency swap work. Now, how does it work? RBI is the Central Bank of India, which means RBI will be representing India. So RBI will provide dollars to Sri Lankan Central Bank, at the same time provides equivalent funds in its currency to the RBI. So here what RBI will do? RBI will provide certain sum of dollars. As we said, it's $400 million. So RBI will be providing dollars, that is US dollars, to the Sri Lankan Central Bank. And what the Sri Lankan Central Bank will do? It will provide equivalent funds in the currency, in its own currency, that is Sri Lankan currency, to RBI. So RBI provides dollars to Sri Lankan Central Bank, and Sri Lankan Central Bank will provide equivalent amount in their local currency to RBI, based on the market exchange rate at the time of transaction. So the equivalent fund, it is decided based on the market exchange rate at that particular time of the transaction. So transaction in the sense that the time at which RBI is providing the dollars to Sri Lankan Central Bank. Now here the parties, that is both Indian and Sri Lankan central banks. The central banks agree to swap back. What is meant by swapping? Swap means you give something and in return you exchange something. So parties agree to swap back these quantities of their two currencies at a specified date in the future. Now what has happened? RBI has given dollars to Sri Lankan Central Bank, and Sri Lankan Central Bank has given local currencies of Sri Lanka to RBI. In the swap, what will happen? The opposite will happen. That is, the Sri Lankan Central Bank will return the dollars to RBI, and the RBI will return the local currencies to the Sri Lankan Central Bank. Now, the swap will happen at a specified date. It can be 1 year, it can be 2 years, or even 3 years. So, depending on the agreement between both the central banks, the swap will happen at a predetermined date in the future, where the Sri Lankan Central Bank will be returning the dollars back to RBI, and RBI will be returning the local currencies back to the Sri Lankan Central Bank. So these swap operations carry no exchange rate or other market risk. So this is the advantage, or this is the reason why swap agreements are taken up by the countries. So here under swap operations, there is no exchange rate or other market risk. Market risk in the sense that currencies can be fluctuating. The value of the currencies can be fluctuating. But remember, in a swap agreement, the terms and conditions are already predetermined. So there is no risk in the swap agreements. That is the benefit for the countries that involve in a swap agreement. Now, what is the significance of currency swap agreements? This is important for your mains examination, though it can also be asked in your prelims exam. First one is to avoid any kind of balance of payment crisis. So what is meant by the balance of payment crisis? Balance of payment crisis occurs when the value of imports of a country is more than the value of exports, which means that the international transactions which takes place in terms of dollars. So what happens in an international transaction? The purchase and the sale, it takes place in terms of US dollars. Now, balance of payment crisis can happen when the value of a particular currency deteriorates because of its high quantum of imports as compared to the exports. So, when the value of a currency deteriorates, it means that it is losing its value and there will be a depreciation of the currency. So, balance of payment crisis can lead to depreciation of currency. Remember about the balance of payment crisis that happened in 1991 in India. Before 1991, and as a result of the balance of payment crisis, India adopted the new economic policy, or what we call as the liberalization, privatization and globalization. So similar situations can be avoided in case there is a swap agreement or a currency swap agreement in place. Second one, it improves the confidence of the foreign investors in the Indian market, because currency swap agreements ensures that there is lesser volatility with regard to the value of a currency. So when there is lesser volatility, the investors will be confident to invest in the economy. Now, I'll give you an example. FPI investors, foreign portfolio investors. Why it is called hot money? The foreign portfolio investment is called as hot money because the portfolio investors have a tendency to withdraw their investments from India as the exchange rate of the currency deteriorates, or when the Indian rupee undergoes a depreciation. This is directly linked to the investor confidence. So, when the volatility or the fluctuations in a currency reduces, the foreign investors will be in a position to invest more. The country will receive more kind of foreign investments. Third is to meet the short-term foreign exchange liquidity requirements. Liquidity requirements means day-to-day money supply requirements. So foreign exchange liquidity requirements in the sense that the demand for foreign currency to meet the liquidity or the money supply requirements. So currency swap agreement will help in meeting the money supply requirements. It also brings down the cost of money for Indian enterprises and individuals while assessing the foreign capital market. So it's beneficial for the Indian enterprises and the individuals. Also, it ensures that the agreed amount of capital is being available to India. And it provides greater stability to foreign exchange and capital markets in India. Capital markets are long-term markets which deals with long-term monetary transactions. Now, the second topic that we will discuss today is multidimensional poverty index, a very important topic for your prelims examination as well as for your mains examination. So we will see multidimensional poverty index. So this is from the month of July 2020. Please do not confuse that. It is a very recent current affair. It's from July 2020. So second topic that we will be taking up today is multidimensional poverty index. So it's an international measure of multidimensional poverty. What is meant by multidimensional poverty? Multidimensional poverty means that poverty in various dimensions. Sometimes, most of the times the poverty is measured in terms of income. But there are various other dimensions. Like for example, health, education, income, standard of living. So there can be many dimensions. Standard of living can be one dimension. Health can be one dimension. Education can be one dimension. So multidimensional poverty index means, or multidimensional poverty means calculating poverty based on many dimensions. The multidimensional poverty index is developed by Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative, OFI, plus the United Nations Development Programme, or the UNDP. And it's released at the high-level political forum on sustainable development of the United Nations in July every year. That is why it was in the current affairs in the month of July 2020. Now, indices and important reports are very important for UPSC prelims examination, civil services examination pattern. If you check, you will see that there are many questions based on index or indices or reports, etc. The multidimensional poverty index, it covers 107 developing countries. So 107 developing countries are covered under the multidimensional poverty index. It was first developed in the year 2010. The first edition of the MPI, the multidimensional poverty index, was developed in 2010. So the three dimensions that the multidimensional poverty index MPI covers, it is education, health and standard of living. And based on these 3 dimensions, there are 10 indicators which assesses the multi-dimensional poverty. So these 10 indicators are based on the 3 dimensions. Let's see what are these 10 indicators. It's important to understand and remember this 10 indicators. At least when you see the option, you should be able to recognize the indicators, because in the year 2019, if you remember, the civil services examination, there was a question based on the indicators or the parameters of ease of doing business. So what are the parameters used in calculating ease of doing business? So similarly, you can expect from multidimensional poverty index as well. There are 10 indicators. One is nutrition, second is child mortality, third is years of schooling, fourth is school attendance, fifth is cooking fuel, sixth is sanitation, seventh is drinking water, eighth is electricity, ninth is housing, and 10th is household assets. Though it's difficult to remember these 10 indicators, make sure you remember the 3 dimensions, because the indicators are based on this 3 dimensions. This 10 indicators, they are based on 3 dimensions. Now, a person is multidimensionally poor if he or she is deprived in 1/3 or more of the weighted indicators. So, there are 10 indicators, and if a person is deprived of at least 1/3 of this 10 indicators, or more than 1/3 or 1/3 of the 10 indicators, then a person is considered to be multidimensionally poor. So, 1/3 is the criteria. Extreme multidimensional poor is if deprived in more than half, 1/2, 1/2 or more of the weighted indicators. So, a person is considered to be extremely multidimensional poor if he is deprived of half of the indicators. So, this is how the multidimensional poverty index is calculated, and whether a person is multidimensionally poor or extremely multidimensional poor, it's decided upon the weightage. If it's 1/3 or more, then multidimensionally poor, half or more, then the person is extremely multidimensionally poor. Now, regarding the key points of this multidimensional poverty index of 2020, 1.3 billion people are still living in multidimensional poverty. So, this is the count. In these countries where the assessment was made, 1.3 billion people are living in multidimensional poverty. 65 out of 75 countries studied significantly reduced their multidimensional poverty from 2000 to 2019. So, 65 out of 75 countries which were studied significantly, they reduced their multidimensional poverty levels. So, there is an improvement. It shows that there is an improvement. India is 62nd among 107 countries with a multidimensional poverty index score of 0.123. So, remember the rank of India, it's 62 out of 107. We have a very low rank. Even though we are not at the lowest end, the rank is still low for India, 62 out of 107. Now, we will also look into the ranks of neighboring countries. Sri Lanka has a rank of 25, Bhutan 68, Nepal 65, Bangladesh 58, China 30th, Myanmar 69th, and Pakistan 73rd. Here, what is important is that Bangladesh is having a rank of 58, which is higher than India. So, this shows that India is still behind Bangladesh in terms of multidimensional poverty index. So, these are the ranks of the neighboring countries of India. So, this is all for today. We have discussed 2 important topics from July. We will be continuing this series. Again, we will meet with another important few topics from the month of July as we continue with the series. Once again, regarding the Plus subscription, the Plus subscription are available for 12 months, 24 months and 36 months. You can avail our Plus subscription to get live classes and complete coverage of the UPSC syllabus. Also, we have Iconic UPSC CSE subscription where you will be assigned with a personal mentor or a personal coach throughout your preparations. And if you are subscribing to either Plus or Iconic subscriptions, you can use my coupon code, which is Joicy10, and with this coupon code, you can avail an extra 10% discount on the subscriptions. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again tomorrow.